Okay, so today I'm going to talk about my hands-on with LangGraph Reflection. It's a very nice utility where the graph has two nodes. So one is the key node, the main node, and then there is a critic node, which goes into circle and gives an outcome. So one of the examples that they have shared over here is the coding example, the code validation example, and I used it, and I also use GitHub Copilot to explain the code. So as you see, um, what it essentially does is it uses Pyright to execute from the temporary path the generated code and critique back the code generation module itself, right? So I have used Anthropic Claude for generation of the code and O3 Mini for Mistral to actually be the critic, right? So it runs in the loop. Apart from what the code was given, what I did was for my easy analysis, I have given a file generator. So every time a new code is generated, I keep generating the file just to compare on what's happening. So let me go to terminal and run this code. The assumption is that the code would generate and then it would need some imports or other things, and the Pyright would say, oh, there is an error, so it would put ignore or some certain syntax accordingly, right? So let's run this code, and you would see on the left side the extracted codes getting generated into the files, which then we will use to compare. Of course, the code generation is now very good from almost all the GPT providers, so there are no syntax errors. But into complicated code, or even the code line where you have the library installed and they try to generate an older code which is deprecated, I think the run would catch it nicely, right? So let's give it a moment. There you go. The first code is generated, and it just to show you what is the code I'm generating while it's happening all in parallel. I have given a prompt code for RAG using Anthropic Claude 3 solid model, right? So that is what it is trying to generate. The first code is in place, and let's see on the console, it's not yet over, so which means there has been a challenge, and I've hidden the challenge, of course, on what should happen. But you can easily see in this code there are at least some warnings and issues which Pyright should catch up and then try to change it. So there you go. There is another code generated. And if I look at my execution, it's still waiting. So maybe there is a third code that gets generated, but no, it got over. And now I can compare these selected files. And you see there are a lot of errors over here, which it tried to change, including some scripting, for example. And you see here type ignore, yeah, as I was expecting. They would put all the type ignore in place and then do further corrections, not only into the coding, but even commenting, etc. Right? So similarity search index, if you prefer, etc. Yeah. So you see now on the left, there would be comparatively a lot of opportunities for improvement, and on the right, I get the code generated, and it would go in a loop until it is satisfied. It's also an excellent place for us to try different models, Claude, Mistral, OpenAI, and models within them, for both generating the code and challenging, right? And see which does which part the best today, right? So hope this helps and leaves you with some thought process on how and where this reflection approach from LangGraph can be used. Thank you very much.